What up? 大家好，我是唢呐。We're back for another episode of Cypher Blast. On this episode, our hip hop English class still has 15 more coupons left to get 30% off. So make sure you get that right now. We can learn all the cool and dirty that they'll never teach you in school. Hey. So click in the link down in the description and sign up for that shit right now on this episode. Hey. I've been seeing a lot of people trying to compare 大嘻哈时代 and 中国有新说唱. But I have to tell you this. 中国有新说唱 is not a hip hop show. Hey. And I'll tell you why. I know there's some of you watching right now who are like, oh, what did this motherfucker say? Oh, I'm angry now. I'm going to the comments. Hold up, motherfucker. I'm not about to diss 中国有新说唱. I'm going to give you 3 very clear reasons of why I think 中国有新说唱 is a great show, but not a hip-hop show. Okay, so number 1, presentation. I'm going to take 中国有新说唱 and the very successful popular hip-hop show Rhythm and Flow on Netflix, which if you haven't seen it, is dope as f***, so go check it out. So, with 中国有新说唱, they're very good at presentation. What you see is on the stage, they've got lasers, pyrotechnics, everything is laid out very clean, the way they do the fast edits, the cuts. It really is an all-out experience. You feel like you are at the show whenever you are watching it. 中国有新说唱 is very good at presenting for a mainstream audience. For people who maybe don't know about hip-hop music, but are curious, that's where they use the presentation and the stage show is to draw you into an all-out experience. Now let's look at Rhythm and Flow. Rhythm and Flow tends to be stripped down and raw. The show takes place in a club. They have a little bit of lighting, but for the most part, they give the rappers a microphone and they say, go at it. You need to show what you got. And all we're giving you is a microphone, so you better bring bars. Because these guys have to prove themselves that they are worth it. And what Rhythm and Flow does really well is showing the rawness and the authenticity of hip-hop itself. So I would say like, 中国有新说唱 is like 3D IMAX. And Rhythm and Flow is like you're actually there at the club watching a live show. They both offer different, unique experiences and they do them very well, but it is almost impossible to compare them. Number 2, the mixing. Now this is one that a lot of people try to dunk on 大嘻哈时代 for, was that they said everything sounded a little off, a little 怪怪的. First, let me explain to you the idea of a backing track. A backing track is whenever a performer, could be a rapper or a singer, goes and performs a live show and all the ad-libs, all the skirt, the brrr, all the backup stuff is played on a separate track because it's physically impossible to sing all that shit at the same time. The backing track is there to serve as backup. It's there to give support for when the singer cannot cover certain parts of the song. Now, a backing track sometimes includes the verse and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it might only include certain elements of the verse, but that all depends on the person who's performing and how they actually set it up. All right, so I'm gonna show you 2 videos from 中国有新说唱, and I've turned up the volume just a little bit, and I have a challenge for you. See if you can tell when there's a backing track and when the rapper is actually rapping. So as you can tell, 中国有新说唱 has done a very good job of making the performance sound like an actual song. And this is because they've taken the backing track and mix it almost even with the actual live performance. Like I said before, they're trying to present you an immersive experience. 3D, so they're trying to pull you in to the actual performance of Answer J and Chris Wu. And they do this very, very well. Now, let's look at Rhythm and Flow. Again, the volume we turned up a little bit higher, and see if you can tell when there's a backing track and when the person is rapping, and see if you can notice even something else that I'll tell you after the video.
Can I talk my shit? Where your tissue? I've been an issue, thrashing them. You should skate now. A1, everything at stake. What's on your plate now?
My flow is bomb and shit. We could toast to our old accomplishments, but I'd rather coast, move forward and talk my shit. But they tell me.
So, in the first video, you might have noticed that it's just their voice by itself. And this is because Rhythm and Flow is trying to show the raw, the realness, the authenticity. What they're saying is, show me that you can hold my attention with nothing else other than your voice and your bars. Now in the second video with D Smoke, there is the backing track, but D Smoke is always above the backing track. And you can even hear, remember I told you there was an extra element that you might hear, and that is the echo. There's an echo of his voice because he's in an auditorium, because he's in a club. And you can even hear the audience yelling and screaming. And this is because the backing track is only there for support, but not to immerse you into the performance. And in fact, this is very common in American performances.
Work, 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 work. You see me at the work, 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 work. You see me do.
From Beyonce.
You mix that Negro with that Creole, make the Texas Bama. I like my baby hair with
To Taylor Swift. They
and I'm so sick of them coming at me.
all use backing tracks, but they're all in the background, hence the name backing track, because they want to make sure that only they are the main character of the performance. So in the 中国有新说唱 video, they are trying to present to you an immersive show, which is why the backing track and the actual live vocals are mixed so close together.
做到悬崖边边，一张一张 fat 的 picture。我不要当神仙 ，I won't be the fire maker。Got caught from my dog who supply all my sauce. I can't lose.
Is to make you feel like you are right there in front of them in real time. But for Rhythm and Flow in the Cypher video, there's no backing track at all because they want you to judge for yourself whether they're good or not.
Best dog we gon' see. I see my mom get beat, so now I beat on beats. Each smoke, take your time, it's a long dinner. Each smoke, take your time, it's a long dinner.
And even with the backing track in the second video, it's just that, it's in the back because they want you to hear the reality of the person's voice. And in 大嘻哈时代, they actually do a similar thing.
考试不及格的全都过来喊老师这里，肚子饿，下课后来喊老师这里。
You drunk, better keep your hands up. 即使接着我的情。
The backing track is 很后面, so if they fuck up, you hear it loud and clear, and there's no hiding behind anything. So this is why when you hear some people's performance and it's whack, it's because it really whack. Or if they fuck up, everyone knows that they fucked up. There's no hiding behind anything because it is a competition. So in the mixing arena, it's actually quite difficult and somewhat unfair to compare these two shows because they are offering two different things. All right, number 3, and this is the big one, and that is diversity of expression. Before there was 中国有新说唱, there was 中国有嘻哈. And in 中国有嘻哈, they actually incorporated many different elements of hip-hop culture, which is why it was quite a big success in the beginning. But what both of them lacked was the diversity of expression. This means that the rappers, although they were dope at delivering bars, were not free to talk and rap about the things that maybe they wanted to talk about. And this is just because of the restrictions of the country they're in. But with Rhythm and Flow and with 大嘻哈时代, they are able to say and rap about whatever they want.
一试就坚持，柯文哲是骗子，支持王世坚愿当真小人，也不要当伪君子。
They are able to express themselves authentically and freely without censorship. And this is the main essence of hip hop, is diversity of expression, to show your culture without boundaries. Now, some of you might be saying, oh, does that mean that 中国有新说唱 is not a good show? No, it is very good at what it does, which is using an element of hip-hop culture and bringing it to the masses, which is rap. 大嘻哈时代 and Rhythm and Flow are very good at what they do, which is taking the elements of hip-hop culture and presenting it to the masses. So even with the limitations of 中国有新说唱, they still do a very good job to work within those limitations. And I have to give them props. It's been a very successful show. And with 大嘻哈时代, because this is their first one, and they are trying to present and preserve the realness, the rawness, you're going to see fuck-ups. You're going to see mistakes. Not everyone is going to be 100% on tune or 100% on beat. Sometimes a motherfucker is going to, fuck up his skateboard. But this is because they are trying to preserve the realness of it. And it can only get better from here. So, in case you still don't understand how I'm trying to explain it to you, let me put it in terms that you will definitely understand. 中国有新说唱有带套套，大嘻哈时代 is raw as fuck,
没带套
son. Because 没带套就更爽。
而且可以生东西出来，
They can blast 出来
Yeah.
Cypher blast. You see? It's all together.
喷出来才喷得出东西来。
So for our Chinese viewers, your shit is good Chinese shit, and our shit is good Taiwanese shit, and it has Shiha. Not having Shiha does not mean you are not real or not legit or not this or not that. You do not have to have Shiha. Even without hip hop, it's still dope, and that's good. So even though you're limited in your speech, you don't have diversity of expression, you cannot say dirty shit, you cannot talk about certain things, that's okay. You still present it really, really dope, and you do a good job. However, you cannot compare 中国有新说唱 with 大嘻哈时代. They're very dope and very different, and you should appreciate them both. So make sure you watch 大嘻哈时代 and 中国有新说唱, and like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Peace!